Hello. In this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what we did to help Paolo Poli, my co-founder on LinkedIn, book 107 calls in 60 days purely through one channel, which is LinkedIn, all through his single profile. Now, there's the screenshots over there. There's his profile. Feel free to follow him. But in this video, I'm going to break down the key factors that cause that success so that you can replicate it on your own profile and grow your own agency. So to kick it off, I want to firstly explain some data points to prove that you can do it too. So firstly, there is zero correlation between likes, comments, followers, and revenue. And the reason why I know this so deeply is because Paolo's profile, if I go back, only has 6,000 followers as of this call. Before that, he was still booking in 20 calls roughly per month, purely at 2K followers. So no matter the follower number, you can still book in a lot of qualified calls and grow your agency. Now, LinkedIn is the platform for 24-25. Twitter was a thing. I think it's slightly died down now. And LinkedIn is the place to be, especially if you're selling B2B services. So if you're selling to other B2B companies and you're helping them grow in a B2B way, this is night for you. So if you're helping B2B SaaS companies, professional services, other agencies, this is a great opportunity for you to grow on a platform which is one, under-tapped and underutilized, and two, extremely concentrated with firmographic data. Now, what I mean by that is LinkedIn has so much data on your prospects, whereas on Twitter, all you have is their handle. So imagine you could find this 51 to 200 employee company and create content just for them and even connect with that profile and have them see your content. It's like the perfect feedback loop. So the whole point of this slide is for me to tell you that you can 100% do this. You don't need to have a lot of followers. And even with 2K followers, we were still booking in lots of calls. So wherever you are in your journey, you can definitely book in calls. Now, what you're about to learn is that it took me, a power user, a solid 12 months to learn as well. And so crazily enough, these things that I'm about to teach you, they work. They worked 2 years ago when one of our business partners, Tim Keane, was running them, and they still work today. Now, there's so much that can't be covered in this call, so I'm going to do my best to show you the right nugget that actually helps you get results almost immediately. So firstly, there are loads of factors to success. Like, we run a whole school community on this, all the way through conversion optimization, founder LinkedIn fit, copywriting, DMs, case study, positioning, offer. There is a whole complete and complex machine at work here to make sure that you can get results from LinkedIn. But in this call, I'm just going to give you the two main things that you can implement immediately, which have a high time ROI, i.e., you only need to put a small amount of time to understand these two concepts and to implement them immediately. To be clear, they're not lead magnets, they're not appointment setting. These things take a bit longer to implement. There's a bunch of lead mags over here. I spent over 203 hours, 100 hours creating lead magnets and SOPs this year. But the one thing I do want to tell you is the two things that will help improve your performance on LinkedIn. And I know these work because we've implemented it on 40 profiles. So context, we run a LinkedIn ghostwriting agency. So we help other agencies book in calls from LinkedIn, and we book those calls in all through an inbound follow calendar. So we have amazing content that goes out in the market. People see it. They either inquire via DM or they book in naturally through your VSL or your landing page. So that's the same thing that you're going to get happening for you as well. So these two things, one is strategical. It's a really high level concept, which I want you to understand. And one is tactical, one that you can do straight away. And I'm going to share both with you. So the thing one is outcome-based marketing. Now, this is a huge concept, and I'm going to take my time to really explain it to you so that you can get good results from it and implement it in your profile. So outcome-based marketing is about deciphering what outcome your ideal customer persona wants and giving them that outcome. So firstly, for most people on this school or on this YouTube video, you're going to have one of three ICPs to be. You're either going to be selling to agencies, e-com brands, or SaaS companies. You also might be selling to coaches and consultants, or maybe a smaller niche like real estate or construction. Whatever that niche is, have a deep think right now and list the 5 or 4 things that they want. So, for example, agency owners, they want more revenue, which is a function of more clients, which is a function of more qualified sales calls, which is a function of more sales calls, which is a function of more leads. So you can do the same thing with e-com brands. E-com brands want more profit. Therefore, they want a lower new cost per acquisition, they want lower CACs, they want higher ROAS, they want higher conversion rates. Or you can do it for SaaS. More MRR, more paying customers, more sales calls, more signups. If you notice, they're all actually the same metrics, but in different terminologies relevant for the niche or ICP. So agencies want sales calls, e-com brands want profit, SaaS want sales calls or MRR. It all just depends on the niche you're playing with. So the very first thing I want you to do is list out these 5 things. You can pause this video now and do it, and it will take you 60 seconds. The second thing I want you to do is communicate the best outcome that you can deliver that relates to the outcomes you mentioned. And PS, you actually need to deliver the result. Don't just cheat and lie. So we're a LinkedIn ghostwriting agency. They don't want ghostwriting, they want qualified calls. So we help agencies book in calls. Like, it's a very simple thing. So depending on what your clients want, if they want more leads and you can deliver leads, then you can say it. We help construction companies get more leads. If you can't get them leads, but you can get them traffic or SEO, you can talk about, hey, we help construction companies rank number 1 on Google. That's still an awesome outcome that still relates to the outcomes that they want to have on their business as well. So identify what is the best outcome that you can deliver and what is the outcome that your ICP wants. Then you find a way to meld the two together. So you have your qualified calls. If for us, example, as an agency, if for an SEO agency, it's traffic. And the third thing is I want you to be really consistent. I want you to consistently say the outcome that you can deliver in almost all of your posts in some form. Be really, really specific about how you help your ICP get that outcome. And you can see some examples for Paolo. We literally wrote inbound calls or some form of calls or money or meetings in like 7, 8, 9 different ways across these posts. And what we're doing here is we're reaffirming in our prospects' minds that we do deliver that transformation and we do deliver that outcome. And outcome-based marketing, which is this whole idea, is all about marketing the outcome that you can deliver. You are selling a solution. You're not selling a service. So when you sell a solution, you need to talk about the KPIs that you can deliver. So be really, really specific about this and narrow on this. Now, thing number 2 is authority hooks. Now, I'm sure you know about hooks if you've ever thought about LinkedIn, and you know that everyone talks about hooks. But most of the knowledge and the theory around hooks is incredibly basic. It's stuff around keep it short. Now, I'm going to show you level 2 of hooks, which is how you create a deeper hook, which has a higher credibility and that gets better impressions on LinkedIn. Now, there are deeper levels. There is level 3 and level 4 to hooks, but right now I'm going to teach you level 2. So there's a reason why these posts perform really well. So Chris Orlob, I think, is a salesperson. Gaetano is an SEO guy. Tyler runs an agency, and Hormozy is Hormozy. Now, in all these scenarios, they have created hooks that do more than just create a cliffhanger or give something away. So Chris Orlob said, I reviewed over 2,500 discovery calls. Here's one thing I'm convinced of. Gaetano says, we were competing against insane brands and we grew some traffic. Tyler says, Pixar grossed over 14 billion. Here's how they did it. Hormozy says, this tactic made me 35 million. Here's how it works. All of these are using multipliers to take an average hook into an authority hook. This is like a really, really key concept. You can use multipliers to take average hooks to authority hooks. And interestingly, there are only 4 multipliers: time, status, money, and recency. Now I'm going to show you some really quick examples of authority hooks. They're super simple. They're designed to be simple so that we can understand them within the next 3 minutes. Time. A basic hook, 7 steps to rank higher on Google, can be transformed into an authority hook by adding the time multiplier. So instead of just saying 7 steps to rank higher on Google, I can say I spent 1,000 hours distilling my winning SEO strategy into 7 simple steps. It's still talking about 7 steps, but now I've upped the ante and I've made people see that this idea is more valuable by giving it a statement of I spent 1,000 hours. If I spent so much time on it, it must be good. Is the crocodile brain I'm trying to trigger. The second one is status. So again, let's take the same basic hook, 7 steps to rank higher on Google. Instead, we can say, here's the 7 steps I used to rank 5 Fortune 500 companies higher on Google. Now, what I've done here is I've added a brand statement. I've said 5 Fortune 500 companies. If those worked for those companies, they must work for your company. That's the feeling I'm trying to instill here. And it's the same feeling that, if I go back 3 slides, Tyler said. He's actually just talking about storytelling, but he's introduced the brand Pixar to elevate the status to a different level. The next one is money. So 7 steps to rank higher on Google can get transformed into I've spent 100 million in SEO. Here's the 7 steps I used to rank higher on Google. And again, I'm triggering this crocodile brain, which is saying, hey, if you spent 100 million on it, it must work for me. Money is a really powerful one because it also includes numbers. Numbers, for whatever reason, really resonate with our brains. And whenever you use numbers and hooks, it magically improves them a lot. And finally, the third multiplier is recency. 7 steps to rank higher on Google can become, in the last 90 days, I've used these seven simple steps to rank higher on Google. Now, by adding a recency factor, you kind of do 2 things. One, you add a number to your hook, which, as I explained, works awesome. But 2, you make your idea more novel. An evergreen idea of ranking higher can now become into a transient idea of something that's new, unique, working right now. And if you're selling to a certain ICP that is always looking and chasing the next new thing, recency hooks are incredibly powerful. So SaaS GTM leaders are very vulnerable to recency hooks. Like when you use recency hooks on them, they seem to perk up and listen. Agency owners are very vulnerable to them, and e-com brands are incredibly vulnerable to them. Everyone's looking for an edge on the market. And if you're able to tie that in with the recency idea, it works really well. So here's a cheat sheet. You have time, money, authority or status, and recency. And there are 3, 6, 12 different examples of how you could use this. Now, the cool thing is, now that you've seen this, you will now start seeing it all over Twitter and all over LinkedIn. You just start to look for these multipliers that exist in market and that are used to take average hooks into authority hooks. And when you layer them all together, you get these monstrous hooks that work incredibly well and are being somewhat abused by the market right now. So 7 steps to rank higher on Google can become, in the last 90 days, I spoke to 15 1 million ARR CEOs and learned the 7 common steps they use to outrank VC-backed competitors. This hook is screaming status, authority, and it's speaking to the top end of the market who care about VC competitors, who care about the word ARR. So speaking to like B2B SaaS companies, essentially, or even some B2C ones as well. And this is how you're able to take an idea into something that speaks to a different type of audience. Now, you know this, you're going to see them everywhere, use them well. And so amongst all the things we did on LinkedIn, so I mentioned that there are all these things that you need to do on LinkedIn to get results. There are ultimately these 2 specific things. So outcome-based marketing and authority hooks had an outsized return on us. Like if we didn't do these 2 things, nothing else would have worked. But once we understood what we were trying to sell, that was a huge order of magnitude increase. And then once we worked out, how do I play to the crocodile brain? How do I resonate with individuals? All our hooks took off and all the impressions grew as well. So again, I've tried to make this video super specific for you, super valuable for you. These are the 2 big things that helped Paolo book 107 calls in 60 days. And I really hope that they can help you book those calls in too. So thank you so much. And feel free to drop any comments in the community or DM me. I'm very, very happy to help. Cheers.